Well, hello everybody and welcome back. Today I'm doing something a little bit different. I brought Milo out here with me and we're in the van and we're going to do a 1 or possibly 2 night camp out in a regional park on the east coast of Vancouver Island. I'm at a place called Horne Lake and I have a waterfront campsite which is wonderful. So what I want to do out here today, well, it's not raining, is I want to do another activity with my BushBox LF twig stove. And today I want to try to bake in it, with it, not in it, on top of it. And what I'm going to do is use my billy can on its side, and I'm going to put together a very simple little apple crisp dessert, and I'm going to try baking. I'm just setting up my little Bushcraft Essentials BushBox LF twig stove. I put this up and did a demonstration of all the specs on it in a video I did 2 weeks ago, and that was about grilling on my new little BushBox stove. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, by all means have a look. I have one concern because I haven't got a pot good for putting coals on the top of the lid that's the right size for this, and so I'm not sure how crisp the apple crisp will be. As long as it's cooked and it's not burned, that's going to be the main thing, because I think it'll taste fine. But I'll get into that in a few minutes after I've got a fire going in this little stove. Well, I got the fire going quite well, but I need it to make a nice base, and then I can just keep adding small pieces in. Right now, actually, I'm getting some nice reflected heat off the little stove right now. I find also with working with small stoves, it really helps if you use a windscreen. It does make quite a lot of difference to the efficiency, how small stoves are going to work. Now, how about this apple crisp? I didn't have a baking dish small enough, so I went to the local thrift store and I got this little springform pan, which is great, except with the springform pan, there's going to be not going to be a tight seal on the bottom. So I've lined this little pot with some tin foil. I've chopped up some apple into quite small pieces. I've added some brown sugar, a little bit of butter, and some cinnamon. Should be good. Now for the topping, I saw somebody on YouTube use a package of instant porridge. So this one is maple and brown sugar and with a quick oat. I thought that's ingenious. It's so simple. It's great for a small serving, and all comes together in a little brown paper bag. So I've added a little bit of butter in here, and I'm just going to work that in, and then I'll just put it on the top, and I'll show it to you when I get it done. And then I'll show you how I'm going to put this together and put it in my billy can. So I'm just going to spread this over, and it looks pretty darn good. So I have my billy can here, and what I want to do is put this little grill that I purchased when I purchased the stove as a base to hold the little pot with the apple crisp in it. So as you can see, that's kind of how it's going to look. The other thing I'll do is I will put these 2 trivets spaced on the top of the little stove. They stick up, and so it should hold the can from rolling around on the top. One of the things that's important to have when you're dealing with these little stoves outdoors is good gloves. Anyway, this is fun. Gives me something interesting to do and hopefully something decent to eat. I'll just let that burn away a bit for a minute and heat up the pot, and then I'll put the apple crisp in. I put a stone on the side of the entry, the part where you put the sticks in, so it can hold up the longer pieces, which I may have to use. Okay, it's pretty hot in there already. Didn't take long. So now I'm going to pop this in here. Okay, the lid's on, and I'm going to time this on my phone for, I'm going to start with 15 minutes and see how that goes. I think that's a reasonable amount of time. Well, here's hoping. I can cook the apple crisp before it starts to rain. But anyway, we're out, and that's the main thing. I was sure getting tired of being cooped up at home. I get out walking all the time, but I really miss coming out to go camping. And trying to find a decent window of more than half a day or a day has been incredibly difficult this fall. All right, 15 minutes is up. I'm going to take the lid off and have a quick look, and then I'll give you a shot of it in the oven. There's steam coming out, and I can hear some apples. I can hear the apples cooking, so it's time to check. All right, what do you think? Well, to me it's not done, but I can hear it sizzling. I'm going to give it another 10 minutes because I don't want to burn it, and I keep the fire going under it, and we'll see how that goes. So we'll check it again. Timer's going on for 10 more minutes. Well, I can sure smell apples cooking. So that's a really good sign. There's only a couple of minutes left. Yeah, just another minute left. And then it'll be, I think, done. Crossing my fingers. Okay, I'm going to take it out. All right, let's give this a go. Right. Well, it looks good. But like I suspected, some of the oats are not quite even wet yet, but I can hear the apples definitely sizzling in there. So I'm just going to go and get a spoon, and we'll have a look. I think we can just mix that in, but I really don't want to put it on the fire any longer. All right. Oh, the apples are done perfectly. Looks great. I'm just going to mix those oats in. The oats are absorbing the juice from the apples, so it's going to be fine. So I've mixed it up, and I'll show it to you. It smells really, really good. Hot apple crisp on a cold fall end of November day. I've got my fire going, so we'll go over there and sit by the bigger fire in a few minutes. But I want to try this first. It's hot. That was really good. Well, I'm pretty pleased with this, and I'm not going to have any trouble eating this for dessert tonight, or maybe I'll try a little bit more before dinner. I would say it's quite a good success. It's not crisp. No, there's no way it is, but it's done. It's really, really delicious. So what a treat to have when you're out camping is to have fresh, hot, and baked apple dessert. So we'll call it an apple dessert instead of an apple crisp. And it's nutritious. It's got a whole apple in it, and oats, a little bit of brown sugar, but a bit of butter. So I think it'd be quite filling too. So I'm really happy about it. So I'd like to offer you a bite, but hard to do over the camera. But take my word for it. It's very tasty. I know a lot of you have some really, lot more experience than me. I've tried to make an oven with my billy pot, or my billy can, whatever you call it, and it's worked quite well. But I would like to try and do some bread, and bread really needs some browning, and I may not be the right pan to do this in. I have a small titanium one, but the lid's all wrong for putting coals on. It's just not, it's not even big enough. So if you have some experience with trying to do this baking on a twig stove, please send your ideas along if you found some things that work well. I'm all up for everybody sharing their ideas. I think many of you know that. And we learn from one another, and I'm here to learn too. So this was coming along with Wendy to see how how she tried to bake an apple dessert. And I think it's pretty darn good, but I'd like to improve on the browning of the top. And I need to do that by putting coals on the top. My hunch is that it would work better with briquettes. Trying to fish hot coals out of this little teeny stove is really, really difficult. It's not like when you have a big campfire and I use my Dutch oven and I can bake bread and do all kinds of things in that. But I think briquettes might be a better source of heat for the bottom and the top for baking. Let me know what you think. So I'm going to eat a little bit more and then let's go sit out by the camp. So thanks very much for watching so far. And if you want to hang around and see some more about how this camping trip goes, I'll be doing some more video as we're here and getting Milo out for some walks hopefully. But I'm right now going to sit by the fire and take in the view of the lake. It's not a bad life. Oh, Milo's having a wander around here. He's not really relaxed. Give you a little update on Milo. As many of you have asked about him. We've now had him for 3 months and he's come a long way. He's much happier. He's more content normally. This is another new event for him. He's only been camping in the van once, but I want to bring him out, give him another experience. The one area we've had a lot of challenges with him is in leaving him alone at home. I think he was okay at the last home that he was in, and the owner could go out and there was no damage done or any problems. But since we've had him, he's been really problematic, and we think that this was one more move in his short life and one more disruption, and it just sort of pushed him over the edge a bit. We're working with a dog trainer who specializes in dealing with dogs that have a history or some issues. So I say that Milo and Bob and I are all in family therapy. But it's working really quite well. And she's really encouraged us to try crate training him, even though we thought that would be a complete disaster. He goes in the crate now. He lies down in it. We're shutting the door for a few moments, and he's actually adjusting to the crate, but we're still a long way from leaving him alone in it for, say, a couple of hours if we wanted to go out together. So right now we're doing tag team, and tonight I've got Milo. Bob's going out, and he's out again tomorrow night. So that's one of the reasons Milo's here with me. But I also kind of like his company, and I think it's important to give him the opportunity to come out and try different things that we do. And my hope is that he will eventually be able to go in the tent. But he's not nearly trustworthy in a tent. Maybe by spring he gets used to being in the crate, he might find the tent quite comforting. So it's my hope. Well, I'm in the van and my canine companion seemed to be all upset about something. He probably saw a squirrel. It seemed to send him off the edge, and he's not been able to rest since I got here. But, you know, he just needs to accept that this is where we are, and it'll come along. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to have for dinner. It's going to be really simple because now that he's in, I think he wants to stay in, and I'm maybe going to call it quits out there, but I'm going to still put my dinner on the fire. So for tonight, I've got a fairly big steak. I'm not going to eat all of that, but what I planned was that if we're here out tomorrow night, I'll have enough left over to make like a stir fry of some kind. And then over here, I've got some mushrooms and some asparagus with some salt and pepper and butter. And I'm going to wrap those up, and I'm going to pop them on that grill. Well, dinner was pretty good, but it was a little bit overdone in the steak, but the veggies were great, and I still ate it. I was hungry. I just came from taking him for a walk, and I would say that we now have an empty dog. Yeah, thank you, Milo. That's very kind. So we have an empty dog, and I'm just going to sit in here and do some reading, relax, I hope. So I'm just going to make the best of it. That's it for today. So I'll see you in the morning. I'm hoping that we both get a good night's sleep. All right. That looks pretty darn good, doesn't it? Nice bowl of fruit, pancake, and a bit of bacon. So that should do me for a while. And Milo's outside, which is fine. He's on his rope, and he doesn't want to come in. So there you go. So I'm just going to tuck into this, and then we'll be out taking Milo for a walk. Well, we're out for a walk. I did see a couple of spots of blue, but they're long gone. Anyway, we're just out. Milo needs a walk. I need a walk. I'm going to explore around the park a little bit. And we're going to go have a look and see what's here. Well, we've had a great walk, and I think it's now time for a cup of something. So today, I'm going to use this little BushBox stove with my Trangia burner. And I did do a bit of a demo in the last video on how this works. There's two ways to do it. One way is to use this little grill, which I bought, goes along with the stove. Two little holes on this side, and the other side slides into the slots over here. So now you've got a nice tray that you can just put the Trangia stove right on. And that's what I want to do today. Once you have that in, you just put the little trivets on either side. And then you've got a place to hold your pot. So this is how I'm planning to use this combination of a Trangia burner with my BushBox LF stove and the windscreen around to give it a little bit of protection from the breezes off the lake, making the efficiency of the Trangia or Trangia burner, however you want to say it, more efficient. So now I just sit here beside my fire, which I've got going, and wait for the water to boil. Looks great. Nice hot drink. The sun's trying to come out. It's a bonus. Well, this looks pretty darn good. I don't know if there's any actual real nutrition in this lunch, but here it is. I say the very end of November. In fact, I think this is Black Friday. Well, I'm not doing much shopping out here, I can tell you that, which is probably a good thing. So I'm just going to have this hot dog and potato chips, which I rarely buy, but I'm going to enjoy them all the same. And the sun is trying to come out. It's struggling, but it's not too cold. And I've got this nice fire going. So I'm just going to sit out looking at this gorgeous view of the lake and eat this fattening food. And I'm going to enjoy every single mouthful of it. Well, I've just got this fire going. Milo's been fed and it's starting to sprinkle rain. I'm going to go get on my rain jacket and I'm going to sit out here for a little bit, but if it does really start to come, I'm not going to be able to sit out here and get soaking wet this time of year. Let's just hope that this is just a little teeny sprinkle and it's just going to stop and my fire's going to dry up all the raindrops. All right, here's hoping. Well, hi, I'm back inside the van. I had a couple of great surprises. One, it did not start to rain. The little sprinkles just stopped, and so I had a wonderful evening outside by the fire. The biggest surprise was that I got a woman who's living in her van came over and started to talk to me, and we really hit it off. So we shared the fire together and had a lovely visit, and it was just terrific. So it did change, the plan of my video, but some things are just a gift, right? And being out here, sitting in the dark around a fire with a perfect stranger, but finding so many things in common was lovely. And I hope maybe I'll see her again. So I came back in and threw together my stir fry from last night's leftover steak, and it looks and smells really good. So I'm going to eat this up, and then I'll have to clean up the dishes, and then I'll go out and take Milo out for his last walk tonight. I think maybe he's actually even happy to come in because it's getting really cool out, and we burned up quite a bit of the firewood. So yes, it's perfect. It was a great way to end this camping trip. But it's been a really, really good day. I've had a wonderful time. So I'll talk to you in a while. Good night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Well, I'm just about all packed up and ready to go. I've had a great 2 days, and I just wanted to say thank you for coming along. It's been a lot of fun. Milo's been great. So I think I've just got a couple more pieces of wood to put back into the van that I didn't use up. And then we'll be going off down the bumpy road home. I hope to get out maybe one more time before Christmas. All right, take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye for now.